Sup flappers, welcome back to another video, and we are going to be touching on something that we did not mention yesterday during or after the patch 2.0 live stream. I know it was very exciting, and I did have this in my mind, and I saw everybody was so excited, so I did not want to dampen the mood in that moment for all those people who are excited for patch 2.0 and who doesn't seem to be worried about this particular issue too much. However, in my comment section, through DMs, and even in older videos, I've been starting to see people who have watched the 2.0 live stream or watched the recap. By the way, I have a recap video right here. If you want to know everything about patch 2.0, just go watch that video and then come back to this and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. All right, so with that being said, the issue that I want to address today and that Mihoyo did not address, and a big portion of the community is really concerned about, is the fact that late game touch-ups were not addressed in patch 2.0, which makes a lot of the more hardcore and dedicated player base seem like they have been left out. So I understand the frustration, because in a way I do come from a background where I do play games more for tryharding and to make progressions, as opposed to just casually playing them to pass time. It feels like I need a sense of progression, meaningful progression, for me to feel like that the time I'm putting into a video game is worth it. And now for a big portion of the player base, I think for what Inazuma has to offer, and out of everything it has to offer, none of it addresses this particular issue. Late game progression or some sort of late game grind that players can just sink their teeth into and put some hours into. We're not talking 10 plus hours a day, but maybe give us an extra 1 to 2 hours of gameplay a day if we so to choose. Now, here is one thing that I feel like a lot of people who are asking for this feature is missing out. Mihoyo, even in the patch 2.0 livestream, says they prepare for things way in advance. So if you look at the Golden Archipelago, this region, it's been said that this was a practice area for Mihoyo to experiment some of the newer mechanics that will be introduced into Inazuma with this island. Now, if you look closely at this island, there is one particular feature during the Golden Archipelago that I think Mihoyo is also experimenting. Maybe not just one. Maybe Mihoyo has been experimenting on more than one. And yes, that's the footage you've been seeing on screen. It's the endless, well, quote, air quote, endless combat mode, where we just get waves of opponents that we can just smash our faces into. And I do think Mihoyo is listening. Every time when the community comes out with concerns, I do think Mihoyo does see it. Even though we like to say Mihoyo ignores us, they don't ignore us. They take these feedbacks and then they just start working on potential solutions. However, we have to understand that this particular issue that is being addressed is crazy difficult to solve nicely, right? It's easy to solve if you just slap something in there and be like, all right, here you go, that's for endgame, right? But Mihoyo, even through the patch 2.0 livestream, you can see that they're a team of dedicated gamers and they work hard and they want to make sure the stuff they put out is worthwhile, even though a lot of it can't stay in the game. Like Theater Mechanicus, it's making a comeback now. So all of this stuff is recyclable. Now, why is it crazy difficult though to address the endgame issue? Because Genshin was never designed to have an MMO type progression. I think people really have to understand what we are asking for is more of the traditional MMO type progression, the grind for the gear or the grind for progression or for some sort of endgame accolade. Genshin was never meant to be that. Now, crazy difficult end goal for players to slowly work towards sounds nice, but some of these goals will take players years to finalize, and for some even longer due to the philosophy of that particular game design. Now, oftentimes the goals in some of these MMORPGs are not even meant to be achieved, and it's purely there as a never-ending goal. Now, Genshin is a game that is constantly battling with keeping as large of an audience as possible, and by making sure all casual players are taken care of, they can maintain a healthy pool of players. So let me ask you this. What incentive does Mihoyo have to put in a feature or an end goal to the game that players cannot achieve for the foreseeable future? It's just there, sitting there, taking up space. And for the more casual players, they're never gonna go for it anyways. Yet it's taking up their storage space. This is the crux, the core of the issue. It's contradiction at its finest. Even if Mihoyo wanted to design something like this, it contradicts with their philosophy of satisfying the general player base. So I have an answer for why Mihoyo isn't rushing into designing a feature like this. And it's actually very simple, because if you know what the 20/80 rule is, where 20% of the players generates most of Mihoyo's profits, why is Mihoyo not catering then to these 20% of the players? The answer is very simple. The 20% also do not really care about the endgame content. Listen, here is the reason why Mihoyo likely knows about the community cries but has not addressed or done much about it in the game. It's not affecting their income. It's as simple as that. Players will still play the game, casuals will likely drop off. However, the whales are still gonna C6 every single character and refine 5 every single weapon. It doesn't change that reality. Because I've talked about this concept of why players in this game spend money. It's not because they want the power. It's because they feel more empowered by showcasing a lot of this stuff either online or to their friends, or they have friends that they compete with, right? It's really for the community and this sense of achievement that can be obtained through swiping, all right? That is how this is designed. Yes, is it toxic? Is it predatory? Yes, we've talked about this way long back. But Genshin Impact, or should I say Mihoyo, needs its core casual player base to keep feeding into the viewership or the fulfillment of the whales, so the whales will keep whaling so they have an audience to show off to. That is the core of this monetization model, all right? Don't we all look up to the whales with C6 R5 just for spectacle? I mean, just look at the videos on YouTube. What kind of videos does well? Wow, big damage, insane damage, OP damage. It's that kind of mentality that feeds into the whales continuing to spend on this game, which then tells Mihoyo, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, make characters OP, whatever, and doesn't matter, just make characters OP, get that nice, beautiful screenshot. I am here to tell you that this is the current state of Genshin Impact. Be it good or bad, I don't really care. I'm just hyped to collect some characters. I don't C6 my characters. I just want to play with these characters and try out new synergies, explore the new regions, and by that I think Inazuma does a great job. And I am over the moon that the patch yesterday did show a lot of the things that we should be excited for. Although it does not address late game, I do think in time, if we give Mihoyo a little more pressure, better feedback, or more accurate feedback, it would help them to start pushing the game in this direction. Because let me tell you, they're thinking about it. Just looking at the Golden Archipelago and the things that they are experimenting on, I know they are thinking about it. It's just, it's crazy difficult to execute and to balance the casual players alongside the more hardcore players to create a feature that both can enjoy while satisfying the hardcore players as well. Very difficult, right? So with that said, this is EroticWalruss. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe if you like this type of content. I make discussion content, rant, memes, guides, everything. Anything Genshin Impact, I make it, all right? Videos uploaded daily. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe and peace.